On this special episode of Nerdz II Men, we discuss Westworld, all of Season 1, and an interview with Leonardo Nam, who plays Felix. Check it out on Nerdz II Men.
Welcome to the Westworld Special that me and Cameo have decided to do because, A, we're in a time of the year when GOG, who is in the service industry, is in hot demand around
Dang. Look, you getting choked up over GOG over here. Look at you. You got a crush on GOG, Brad?
No, I just got all my memories like all at once. Like all at once. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see that.
But
Freeze all motor functions. Okay, so I'm going to take over now.
Okay.
Anyways.
Oh, wait. I can't chime back in.
No, you can't.
I know how that works.
Okay, are you rewriting the program already?
I think GOG rewrote my programming.
Okay.
Yeah, since he's going to be gone. But he decided to let us into our studio, and we're going to do a Westworld special. He doesn't even keep up with Westworld, unfortunately, for GOG, so
yeah.
We'll be back with him next week.
Same thing with me with South Park when y'all did that.
Right.
Did that episode.
Yeah, which, by the way, I'll tell him he should watch Westworld. You should watch South Park. It's been good.
Y'all were bringing back some memories, because I used to watch it like way back in the day.
Right.
And yeah, I wish I would have still watched it, because I mean, through college I had some buddies that still watched it, and I didn't have cable at the time, so it was just like, well, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, like I missed so much. I feel like I would be like lost out. Is there like ongoing stories?
I mean, not really. If you watch it, you'll be able to jump right back in.
Okay.
It's kind of like that. And I'm with you, because if you listen to our show, I'm sure. It was a thing where for a while I didn't get to watch it. I was doing all kinds of other stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was just low on the priority list. People would be talking about it still, like, oh, have you seen South Park? And I'd say, yeah, not lately. So I'm really glad that I jumped back in, because so far, and there's been a couple episodes since we did that special episode, also Tech 9 on there, so if you haven't heard it yet, go back and listen to that one.
Yeah, Tech 9 was pretty cool. He was, like, I felt like he was a buddy. We were just chit-chatting, like shooting the breeze.
You did a good job with that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
That was, at least we had you on the show that way when you sat down with Tech 9. Did you go see Tech 9 that night?
Yeah, dude, it was sick.
Awesome.
It was so sick, dude.
I didn't get to go, but I like him a lot.
Dude, I wish I would have known that you liked Tech 9, because I had extra tickets.
Oh, GOG does too. All of us.
Well, next time when he comes, because he's going to come again, because he's
Can we get the VIP?
Here.
Did you get to hang out with him?
No, I didn't get to do all that.
Well, maybe by next time we'll be like, hey, remember we had you on the podcast?
Right.
We get to hang.
Had you on my #1 night show. Mm-hmm. All that. Come on.
Now,
dude.
when you asked him if he would write wild on his head, your friend had asked you to ask that. But were you asking, like, because that's the name of your station too? Like, and then he gave you the backstory, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Is that
was the only reason why? Because I thought I've never, like I said in the interview, I'd never been to a Tech 9 show, so I don't know anything about that. I just know who he is and some of his songs. When he asked me that, I thought it was just like, oh, he was like showing love to Wild, you know?
Right.
And
then it became something that was actually, if you were a true fan, you would know. I didn't know it. Yeah. So I didn't know that he used to.
And if you don't know it, go listen to the interview.
Yeah. So pretty interesting stuff. But Westworld, I want to start out by asking you, did you watch it from the very beginning, or did you pick up at any point during the season? How did that start with you?
I picked it up at the very beginning. Mm-hmm. So I was right there when it all went to poop.
It went to poop, and I don't think it ever went to poop, did it?
Well, I mean, like not like the whole story, like the storyline, but like when things were starting to, like, something was already off at the very beginning.
Oh yeah. So yeah, totally,
and that's what I mean.
Yeah. Well, no, you're right, because it does jumps right into like a crazy storyline. Yeah. When you first heard about it, did you know that Jonathan Nolan was the guy who created this and directed the first episode? I believe the last episode as well, and had a hand in creating that. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay. And his brother Christopher Nolan, they worked together on several projects like The Prestige, great movie.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Memento, Christopher Nolan, when he went...
Memento was bad, dude.
Well, he adapted that off of Jonathan Nolan's short story.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, okay. So they've worked together on some stuff. I looked it up because I was like, oh, I wonder if Jonathan Nolan had anything to do with Inception, but that was just a Christopher Nolan thing. Oh, okay. But Jonathan Nolan also wrote the last 2 Batman movies.
Yep.
So I really didn't know that much about Jonathan Nolan. I've been a fan of Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, he puts out some good stuff.
Yeah, I just didn't realize how much Jonathan Nolan actually had to do with it. And then I did know J.J. Abrams was going to be involved. But when I remember coming across something that said something to the effect of Westworld was going to be the next Game of Thrones for probably like the HBO crowd.
Okay.
And so I was like, sweet, I'll check that out because I know Game of Thrones isn't going to be back for a while. So, and I vaguely,
like 2018, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the same time Westworld's coming back.
Right,
so.
True. I vaguely remember that there was a Westworld movie, but so I just wanted to watch it, and I saw that Ed Harris was in it. I saw, of course, that Anthony Hopkins was in it, so I was sold on that already. So that's how I kind of came across it. And then to find out that these people like J.J. Abrams and Jonathan Nolan are involved just made it that much more intriguing because I knew that there were going to be a lot of puzzle pieces, basically, to go along with this story. It wasn't just going to be some action adventure that had no depth to it.
Okay.
And so I want to ask you, how did you watch the show? Did you just watch it and then did you read about it on the internet? Did you know any of the kind of theories that were going around, or did you just watch the show week to week and didn't get into it that heavy? How did you watch this?
Well, I watched it without knowing anything about it. I didn't even know there was a movie about it. And then I remember I think you asked me if I was watching Westworld and asked me if I heard any of the fan theories. So I went on, I think it was like after the second episode, I believe.
Right.
And I looked at some of the fan theories, which kind of ruined it for me.
Did it?
Yeah. And the only reason why is because, are we doing spoilers?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By the way, let's just, before we really get any further, let's say, if you haven't watched episode 1 through 10, and you're not fully caught up, I don't recommend you listening to the rest of this show because we're definitely going to have spoilers galore.
Yeah.
So if you haven't, then just back it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold up.
Wait, I'm no, but yeah. So like it ruined it for me because I was waiting the whole time because like episode 3 or 4, I'm like, okay, what? The Man in Black, Ed Harris, and what you find out later in the last episode. Wasn't it the last episode where he finally called him William?
Yeah.
Well,
yes. It was the end of the 9th episode. Really, she opened the door, and I thought she said William, but I think it was more of like William, and then it was the Man in Black. Like, oh, that may have convinced most people. Some people may have needed to wait till they got to episode 10 to be convinced that William was the Man in Black. But that was kind of like yeah, that's what we thought. But yeah, so
but that kind of ruined it for me because I'm like, okay, get on with it. Like, we already know who you are. Let's just go from there. And like, I feel like there should be okay. They wanted to do 10 episodes, cool. Well, the 10th episode should have been more about the hosts taking over.
Right.
Rather than you find out like the last 10, 15 minutes of it, you know?
Yeah, well, they did say, and I heard this, and first of all, I want to give a little bit of credit where credit's going to be due. The way that I watched the show was I watched it, and then I read lightly on the internet about some stuff, but I also listened to another podcast called Decoding Westworld. So I want to give them credit because they've informed me on a few things that I might bring up on the show today, and truly, I mean, some of it I got from them. So, but that's how I got a lot of my information, and I don't know where they had heard it, but that this was basically the prequel, that next season, kind of like how Preacher, you watched Preacher, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Preacher, turns out that Preacher, the whole season, was a prequel. So where it's going to pick up is where it started in the comics. So in the same way, this whole season was more of a prequel to what really happened, like in the Westworld movie, where the robots, the host.
Okay, I was going to ask you that. If that's like, how did that movie start? Did it start out like this? And
I mean, it pretty much started off with a little bit, because I watched it a few weeks ago, just because I wanted to know if it was tied to the show at all. There's some rumors that it was, and people saying no, it wasn't. I don't think it was. I didn't get all the way through the movie, but a few things that were kind of the same was there's two guys that show up, and one of them gets into it with a cowboy, and he keeps getting into it with this guy. Turns out that this guy is Yul Brynner, the star of the movie, the kind of like Terminator, or the host that goes bad. But there's also other worlds in Westworld movie too. There's a medieval world. There's a
East world,
Roman world, East world.
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
Well, in the movie,
was it in the movie?
No, I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, I was saying Eastworld because of the feudal Japan.
Oh yeah. So, well, they had something like that in the season finale where they had, what was it, Samurai World? It just said SW. So
it was an S,
wasn't it?
I can't remember.
I thought it was. I assumed it was Samurai World, but I don't know that that's actually true.
Yeah. On
Decoding Westworld, they had introduced a few theories. One of them was that people on Reddit that are giving away all the, Bernarnold and the Man in Black, that this is two different story timelines and stuff like that. These people on Reddit are people that are associated with the show somehow, and I think that they were thinking, the theory was that they were guiding people's thoughts on this the whole way.
Oh, so it wasn't really us thinking it. It wasn't our own thinking.
Right.
It was, okay.
But they did through Reddit and stuff. So funny that they could control the narrative like that for a show that they know already that people are going to be like, okay, I know J.J. Abrams with Lost and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's going to be different storylines and different clues as to what's going on. But I also wonder about the people who went along and didn't dig into this at all. No podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, are they like, what is going on here?
Right.
It's kind of one of those shows. It starts early with the maze. I mean, the maze shows up at the beginning. And so as you go, you start finding out people like Bernard are robots or hosts. Mm-hmm. And he didn't know until later on in the series, and when he finds out, it's one of those moments that the actor who plays Bernard, Jeffrey Wright, I mean, he plays it so great, finding out that you're not real, you're a robot for the first time. Amazing. I mean, I thought he did an amazing job.
That was pretty cool. And like, when you find out that Bernard is actually Arnold, Bernard picks up a picture, and it was of Arnold, but you don't see Arnold. But it was Arnold, Robert Ford, and some other guy. And whenever Bernard confronts Robert Ford, which is Anthony Hopkins' character, he goes, "Who is this?" And Anthony Hopkins' character was like, "That's Arnold."
Yeah,
not knowing that he wasn't talking about Arnold. He thought he was talking about the there was two white guys, and Arnold is black, and
right.
And what you find out later is that Bernard is actually Arnold. It's just a host that Robert Ford, who was his co-partner in the whole park.
Right.
But and I was like, and I thinking back at that first episode, and him saying something saying that you now can see because they go back to it once Bernard finds out that he is actually Arnold. It goes back to that scene, and you actually see the whole picture, which I thought they did really awesome on that.
Yeah, they did. There was so many good things in this show. There was some things that I agree with some of the people that I've heard that say that they felt like they started writing the show one way and maybe went a different way halfway through. I say that but I also think that the maze was also always intended to be nothing. The fact that why would he put the maze in the skull of somebody, or basically underneath their scalp, so that somebody would have to scalp them to find it, if it's just for the robots to find so that they can find consciousness? It seems like that was ooh, look at how cool this is. But then like later, like, no, why would they do that?
Yeah.
But that aside, that's also probably just nitpicking because, yes, the maze did become a pretty important part of the story. It just wasn't an important part of the story in the way we thought it was going to be with the Man in Black. It turned out to be Dolores' story. Mm-hmm. So there's so much in this series that if you had to follow all these storylines, and not all of them got tied up in this finale. We don't know what happened to Elsie. We don't know what happened to Stubbs.
Yeah. That's the one that I want to know about, is what happened to him, because last time you see him, he gets attacked by the Indians. Mm-hmm. And that was it.
I looked it up. This isn't the first Westworld TV show. There was another one back in the day that was
really
continuing Westworld, or it wasn't called that. It was something else. Beyond Westworld. There was another movie made after the Westworld movie, Future World.
Yeah, Beyond Westworld.
Beyond Westworld, that's it. So I have to say this is the best one, though. I mean, I think the show is better than, and really it is a 10-part movie, don't you think?
Yeah.
Or it's very film-like in the way that the story plays out, and the music. Oh, the music's so good. One of the best things about the show.
Yeah, the not the credits. Well, I mean, the credit and the intro isn't that the same song or the same music?
There's a bunch of different themes. If you get the soundtrack is available right now too.
Okay.
But there's a few different themes.
But the beginning theme song is pretty dope.
Yeah.
I love it a lot.
There's like, because there's the beginning theme song, and the same guy's doing all of them. I'm gonna mess his name up if I say it. So let me just say he's so great. He does the music for Game of Thrones as well. He also did, I think it was for Iron Man 3 or Iron Man 2, one of those that he did a great job on. So he was involved with that and did some covers and different stuff that were pretty cool. So I recommend picking up the soundtrack if you liked what you heard on the show. This show definitely is one of my most favorite shows in recent memory.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, besides and not thinking about like Marvel shows, which I really enjoy. But yeah, I would have to say out of pop culture.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the best ones.
Now, if you go to our Facebook page, I put something up there that was basically asking, what was your favorite news show that came out this year? And I put up like Westworld, Stranger Things, The Get Down, Luke Cage, and a couple people said Stranger Things. And I agree with that. Like Stranger Things and Westworld to me are both on that same kind of level, although I'm sure way more money went into Westworld.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. There's no debate in that.
But isn't that funny though? How you could take one show that's a lot of money, very well written and well acted. I loved all of Westworld, and then take another show like Stranger Things, and probably not a lot of money that had to go into that, except for a few different scenes.
Yeah,
the rest of it.
The Demigorgon.
Yeah.
I think that's probably like the most like money that they had to pay.
Right.
Was that. And then maybe like the Demigorgon like place, like the mirror version. If
you go check out the Facebook page, you can tell us which one was your favorite. I wanted to set up a poll, but I don't know how you set that up on the page. It was weird. It was like I think you had to go to like a outside party vendor and set it up. Okay. I just don't like doing that. But
but yeah, if you have a favorite show, hit us up and we
want to know about it. Yeah. We'll check it out.
Yeah.
One of the things that we do, like at my office, I have a friend named Angela, and she watches the show, and she also listens to our podcast. So we talk a lot about Westworld, and I was like, hey, why don't you shoot me off a question or two if you got any that we could discuss on the show. Well, she ended up sending me a few, and I want to get into them because she sent me some really great questions because she's very observant. She watches it a lot. So here's some good ones that she had some questions. I figured we could talk about this for a little bit. What was your number one favorite scene of the whole season and why? And I'll start with mine. I'll go ahead and start with mine, maybe if you want to think about yours for a second.
I already know mine.
Do you?
Yeah.
Go. I'll let you go first.
No, you go ahead.
No, because the sparkle in your eye.
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
Because it's probably the same one. It's probably the same one.
Okay, let's see. Okay. All right, so the very end scene where, this is spoilers deluxe.
Yes.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Yeah, okay. when Ford gets shot and the bullet goes through his head and breaks the glass that he's toasting, I thought that was just, I don't know, something about that was just beautiful and gory and crazy all in the same thing.
That was pretty dope.
Yeah,
that was pretty sick.
Yeah. Okay, I think you have a different one though.
It was different. It was different. But that was pretty good though. That scene was good. Actually, that whole like last 5 minutes was legit. Actually, I have two.
Okay.
I have two.
Yeah.
It was when the man in black, a.k.a. William, he's out smoking after he got his arm dislocated.
Yeah.
He's out smoking, and he sees the hosts.
Right.
The hosts that were in, when you watch the show.
In the cold storage.
Yeah, that were in the cold storage.
Right.
They are coming out of the woods.
Yeah.
And they shoot him.
You're right.
And they shoot him in his arm, and it's just like, like that blood splatters. Like,
yeah, right.
And then he like looks.
Yeah.
And he smiles.
Yes.
I was like...
He had a look on his face like, finally, some excitement, some realness. Because that's what he wanted the whole time. That's why he was after the maze. He thought that he was finally going to, if he got to the maze, the middle of the maze or whatever, he thought that he was going to come across Wyatt.
Yeah.
And Wyatt would be somebody, hopefully, that Ford had left to make their own choices.
You mean Arnold? No, he didn't know Arnold. Sorry,
he didn't know Arnold, but he was looking for Wyatt. And I think he thought that once he found Wyatt might be like his real arch nemesis.
Yeah.
But when he finally found it, he found out, no, this maze wasn't meant for you. And that's what I thought was really cool. They kept telling him the whole time, this maze isn't meant for you, different characters. And he kept brushing it off.
Yeah. I think Dolores did him in, though. Dolores, she was like, giving him some of that robot nookie. And then like after she like, forgot about him.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, dang. Like, what's my life like now?
Right. Right. And see, I'm going to give props to the whoever this listener of Decoding Westworld was, because they wrote them an email and the people on Decoding Westworld read it. And I'm going to kind of quote it very offhandedly. But he was saying basically that William was a dick from the very beginning. Like, he came in with his brother, his soon-to-be brother-in-law.
Yeah.
He falls in love with another girl right in front of him.
Yeah.
He then, leaves him for dead with all these other dudes. I mean, he knew he couldn't really be hurt, but still, I mean, this is vacation. This is a $40,000 a day vacation.
Dang.
So...
I don't even make that. Like,
I know. Yeah.
A day?
And so, the whole time, and then Logan confronts him, says, hey, I don't feel good about this, actually. He was kind of taunting him from the beginning, but still.
But I think what Logan was up to was just like, I'm just trying to, trying to get my thing wet.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Sorry for being vulgar, but,
Well, I mean, it was Westworld. So.
Yeah, it was pretty vulgar.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I kind of see that William was a douche from the very beginning.
He was, and then he goes bad, and then it's like later on you think, oh well, his wife, she committed suicide, and his daughter blamed it on him. He's a little more human now. Maybe we'll find out that this whole time he didn't rape her in the barn, and he was trying to help her find the maze too and get out.
Yeah.
Well, no, we find out that he just treated her like any old robot.
Yeah.
Any old host.
Yeah.
And he kept trying to beat it out of her, the clues to the maze, and she finally... Something snapped, and I think it was. But see, here's where I'm going to break down my whole theory on the show the whole time, and I think the series finale really hammered that home. But that nothing happened that Ford didn't write in to happen.
Yeah,
I mean, all of it. Maeve getting out. We don't even know if Maeve, when she got off the train and went back for her supposed daughter, we don't even know necessarily that was her choice. A lot of people took it as she finally got to make her own choice. She chose to go back. But we don't even know that, because there was a scene where Bernard was reading what was going to happen off the tablet, and right when he got to once you get on the train, she broke it. So we don't even know. That could have all been orchestrated, because my theory, Ford knew he was going out, and he just wanted to give the fingers, the double birds, to everybody, and took everybody out with him.
Well, what I think, okay, I was talking to one of my coworkers, Brad Copeland, and
Really nice guy. I love Brad Copeland.
Yeah, he's really awesome and very intuitive. And he's read these fan theories and all.
We should have had him on, man.
I know. I should have asked him.
Yeah,
he don't live too far from GOG either. So
yeah, maybe next time.
Yeah. And so we were talking about how Jonathan Nolan and I forgot the lady's name that's on this too. But they said that there was like 2 instances where they have like their camera, the way they use their cameras.
Right.
When it's fixed, it's all like it's part of their program. When they have a like the camera is set on them and it's moving with them, that's their own decision making.
That's improv.
That's all improv on the host's part.
That would be interesting.
So when Maeve gets off the because you know how it was fixed on her. And, went this way, went that way.
Yeah.
But whenever she got off, like, it followed her.
Well, when she got off the train, actually, it goes, "Welcome to Westworld," because it realized, oh, wait, that's not a human stepping off the train.
You think that was it? Or
yeah,
you think it was that all the robots?
Everywhere they walked around and stuff, like only the light would only come. Like when Felix walked in with Maeve, she had walked in to check on Clementine back at the cold storage where Bernard was. And so when they walk in, it's still dark. When Felix walks in, the light comes on.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is going to bring me back, before we go to some more of Angela's questions, to probably what we both would consider our second favorite scene of the whole show, was when Felix, Leonardo Nam, realizes that Bernard, this person he had seen, all this time and thought was human, when he realizes he's a host too, he starts thinking
like he's a host.
Yeah, like am I a host? Yeah. And he kind of does like the robot. And it was a great. I mean, this whole episode was just from the very beginning very.
The last show was 90 minutes long.
Yeah.
And when it got to that part, I lost it.
It was the best. It was the best time. They dropped in a little, and he was so good about it.
Yeah,
because. You would think that too.
Yeah.
You would be like, "Oh no, what? Wait."
Right. Am I part of this whole deal too?
Yeah.
Like am I a host?
Yeah. And then Tandy Newton was like, "Oh no, you're not one."
Yeah. And the way she answered him too, it's like, "You idiot."
Yeah. Yeah. He actually, if you hear him, you'd be surprised. Like the first time you hear Rick, I think from Walking Dead, talking his English accent.
Yeah, I did not think he was British at all.
No. Leonardo, though, I believe he was born in Argentina and then raised in Australia. And so he has like kind of an Australian accent.
That is nuts.
Yeah. So when he starts talking, because he's been in some stuff too that I've seen. And so when he starts talking in that accent, you're like, whoa. I thought Jeffrey Wright, who played Bernard and Arnold, so good. So good. When I really first saw him in anything, he was in Boardwalk Empire.
I didn't watch that show, but I heard that was really good.
Yeah, it was a very good show. James Marsden, our guy was he from Edmond?
No, I'm thinking of Garth Brooks from UConn. I'm not sure. No,
I know he's from Oklahoma, though.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
I look it up. I use my phone. I look it up.
Let's look that up. I'm going to look that up real quick.
Okay. Ed Harris, also, I believe, is from Oklahoma, who played the Man in Black.
Stillwater. He's from Stillwater. James Marsden.
Okay, yeah. I thought he was from around these parts. Ed Harris?
He is from, it says he's from Tenafly, New Jersey.
Oh, okay. Huh. For some reason, I thought Ed Harris was tied to Oklahoma at some point. Maybe. Did he go to OU, though? Oh. I think Ed Harris went to OU. Check it out. Which if he did, he should get a statue next to Switzer and those guys, because
he kind of looks like Switzer a little bit.
Ed Harris is a guy who could go from playing like a badass cowboy to like a math teacher real quick.
Oh, he sure did. He went to my alma mater, OU, baby.
Yeah, sad you didn't know that.
Hey, they don't have his like pictures up anywhere. They have.
That's what I'm saying. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
They have James Garner. They have his stuff everywhere.
Yeah, they need an Ed Harris building at OU. We need to make this happen. You need to make it happen. You're an alum,
right? I need to go out there and do that.
Angela wanted to know, and I kind of want to know this too. Do you have any guesses on where Westworld is geographically? So I wonder if it's like supposed to be off of some island or somewhere where there's obviously a few different there's some mountains maybe, and then, but also some plains. But I don't know. I don't know of any islands like that. So,
I honestly don't know because it's weird. Because at the end of at the end of the 10th episode, you see whenever the hosts and Felix were trying to get away, and they went over to, I'm gonna call it Eastworld, where the samurais were, and like they went between like two buildings. They weren't buildings.
Right.
It seems like everything was like underground.
Right. Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of Hunger Games.
Oh, okay.
You know how they have like that big old dome?
Right.
That's what it seemed like to me.
Right.
Like they were in like some
a dome.
like a big old like huge dome.
Yeah, because they call it a park, so I mean it's got to have, and there's some fringes because when William finally ends his dick-headed friendship with Logan, he sends him naked off on a horse.
You're right.
And we don't know whether Logan died because there's no Logan later on.
Right.
We don't know what happened. So, but yeah, there were some fringes that weren't part of the park, I guess. So, I don't know. I would say maybe if it's like some other, I want to say that this is in some other dimension.
Okay.
Where, they just bubbled like Texas or something, or Wyoming or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Arizona, I don't know. And yeah, they have, and then everything is underground, which, because you could see like there were like, I don't even know, 100 underground levels that they would go through on the elevator. There's another theory that Angela brought up that I thought was kind of cool. Do you watch Black Mirror at all?
No.
It's crazy.
I did watch one episode for some odd reason. My Netflix, because I guess there's like a few seasons on there, right?
There's 3.
3. Okay, mine.
And it starts you off on season 3. Did it?
Yeah, it did that with me too. Okay, I thought my Netflix was just messing me up.
Mine did that too.
I wonder why.
I don't know. But
that
probably, I want to say, because if you go back and watch season 1, the first episode of Black Mirror is going to make you be like, I don't know if I should watch the rest of this. But the rest, season 1, episode 2, beyond, really good.
Well, the funny thing is that whenever I first started Black Mirror, when I guess it starts you off on season 3, I thought that was episode 1, and like I was enjoying that one.
Right, yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. And then I pressed pause, and it showed me that I was on season 3, episode 1. I was like, wait, let me go back to 1, and then I started watching episode 1 of season 1, and I'm like,
Well, the main theme through Black Mirror is technology isn't always going to be what it seems. It's going to make it hard for the human mind to even comprehend where they are, or there's some themes that mirror Westworld. And so one of the theories is like, if you kind of go along the Black Mirror route, that Westworld is a prison where the hosts are maybe prisoners. Oh. Like maybe their consciousness is uploaded into these robots. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing my own interpretation of this theory out there. But that could be a fun theory to think about, because when you think about how bad these people are treated, maybe if you think, oh, well, she killed her whole family and she's a prisoner, maybe not so bad. I still think William and Man in Black was totally a dick. I do think he raped her out in the barn now. Yeah.
You do?
I didn't think it until the last episode, and then I thought, he did. He got tired of her, like he said, and he just... but he still...
But why, though? Why her?
Because
I know he did say...
Well, maybe because she represents innocence and he was on a tear,
well, I mean, that's cool and all, but he could have just went to the whorehouse.
The brothel. The brothel.
He could have went there. And
but that was the thing. He wanted somebody to, like, resist. He wanted somebody to put up a fight.
Okay.
That's what he got off on. Well, yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Man in Black.
Yeah, he is nasty.
Disgusting.
So
you kissed your mother with that mouth.
Yeah. Which single character were you most interested in the overall season?
I would have to say Tandy Newton's character, Maeve.
Yeah. She was awesome.
I thought she was probably the most intriguing. Mm-hmm. I loved her in Crash. She was awesome in Crash.
Right.
I don't even think that the way she acted before she got all of her attributes turned up, it seemed like she was already smarter than what she was.
But see,
or than what she was,
yes,
put up to.
But Bernard reminded her that she had woke up before. Mm-hmm. This had happened before.
Yeah.
Which is why I think that this was all just a Ford setup. Even Maeve. Because he had told her, somebody's programming you. They never answered who. But I mean, it's assumed it was Ford. But I think he programmed everything that she did, even coming back.
Well, do you think, because Tessa Thompson's character, Charlotte Hale, and then I forgot the other guy's name who does the other narratives. Remember when they were talking, they were like, we need you to get one of the hosts out of the park.
Right.
And because you know how everything's on a different timeline. So it's just like, are they up to it? Just so you know, because listeners probably don't know if they don't watch it. But if you do watch it, you know that part where Tessa Thompson's character was like, hey, you need to get a host out of the park. And that way we'll be able to get Ford out of his seat. And
right.
Blah, 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 woo-de-woo. Well, I'm wondering if they're up to it. But then, like what you said, it could be Ford's whole dealing. And which brings me back to Ford's character. Remember when Bernard and his love interest at the very beginning? I forget her name.
Teresa?
Teresa, yes. And you know how they went to his house where Robert Ford's like family members were, or how he was when he was a kid, or whatever it was.
Yeah, the one Arnold had built for him.
Yeah. Well, and remembered that door, which is funny too, because when that scene happened in the very towards the very beginning,
right,
and you don't see a door there,
right,
and you just see Anthony Hopkins, aka Ford, just pop out of nowhere,
right,
which was kind of cool. And then whenever Teresa and Bernard went there, and they go through the door, Bernard still doesn't see the door, so he was like what is this,
right?
And so he ends up following her, which if you don't see a door and you follow somebody, I feel like he would have stopped
right, yeah,
like that one guy did, Maeve's kind of love interest.
Right.
Like that weird
Hector.
Hector, where he comes up to the elevator and he gets stuck.
Yeah.
I feel like that should have happened right there.
You're right, because they can't see anything that's going to alter the way they perceive reality, I guess, or harm them.
Right.
Harm their way they see reality, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and you see that body being made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm wondering, which Brad Copeland also brought this up too. I was wondering if that was Ford's body.
There has been some speculation,
and that was actually Ford's. I'll call it its doppelganger. Ford host
that got shot.
That got shot.
I've heard that theory too. Okay, if that's the case, I'm going to be kind of pissed off, because then it's like, well, it's one of those shows where you can't believe anything that happens.
Yeah.
And Ford being killed in the way that Arnold went out, and really constructing it the same way Arnold did, was what I thought was poetic about the whole show. Mm-hmm. And so if that was just Ford's host, that he built and then set him up to get killed so that he could disappear or go hang out with the hosts in the woods or whatever, the Ghost Nation.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he goes back to live with the family out in that, the house with the kids. But it seems cheap to me if that's going to be the ending, or not the ending, but if that's going to be how he ends up. Yeah.
I feel like since Ford loves being in control, because you can tell his character loves it. And I feel like that would be his deal. Like we probably won't even know. Anthony Hopkins' character probably won't even show up until if that's what I'm thinking, if that's actually Ford's host. If he comes back, it'll be towards the end of the ending of the season.
Yeah, well, we know Ed Harris is going to be back on season 2, so I guess he doesn't get killed by all the hosts out in the woods.
Or he might just be in the episode 1.
True.
Or does it say how many episodes?
No, I haven't heard that. Okay. I do know that it's not going to be back till 2018.
Blows.
Here in a little while, we'll give you a couple of shows maybe to watch in the meantime. But so I want to end up. I got a couple more questions for you. If you could be Ford, what kind of world would you make?
a Ninja Turtle world.
That brings up a lot of questions about what you're gonna do with all these Ninja Turtles.
You know what I would like? I would like a feudal Japan or China or Imperial China. You know, I think that would be really cool.
Okay.
Because it's funny because I bring up Ninja Turtles. I love that, I wouldn't say lifestyle, but I think it's cool. Like ninjas, samurais is dope. Right. I think those are like the coolest martial arts ever. So I think, either being trained to be a ninja or, trying to evade ninjas or fighting samurais, I think that would be dope. That'd be pretty cool.
I would invent an Ewok world.
Ooh.
Where I just hang out with the Ewoks and Princess Leia, circa back then.
That'd be cool.
In her Jabba
she was
outfit.
19, dude. She was 19.
No, did you hear all that about her and Harrison Ford?
They used to get it on.
And see, that didn't surprise me when I heard it, but because, and I think the guys on Fat Man on Batman agreed with me. But like growing up, they were both old to me, so it wasn't like. But then I thought, wait, 19 and 31, and he was married. People now, if that was, who's 31 right now and who's 19 out there? If that was happening, no, it wouldn't work for you.
No,
she's of age, but people would look down on you.
Right.
And so, and plus, what are you going to have in common?
Nothing.
Maybe they're actors and actresses out in Hollywood, and
I'm sure,
but I still think that is kind of more scandalous than people gave it.
Gross.
But
Harrison Ford, you fugitive.
It does, it does kind of make you think, God, that's a 70-year-old kissing a 50-year-old in Force Awakens. Gross.
Right?
But no,
you're retired and she's still able to work.
Yeah.
Gross.
I really don't want to laugh about such a thing. If it were my 19-year-old and a 30-year-old, I'd be like, hell no.
Right, exactly.
So, but, it was a long time ago. Like I said, consenting adults, I guess. And all that, but if I were gonna make a world, I would like to have like up in the trees, the Ewok world.
That'd be kind of dope.
But maybe just like a Star Wars world would be dope.
That would be pretty cool.
One more thing, did you notice the Alice in Wonderland theme? Bernard, in his memories, was I think reading some Alice in Wonderland or one of those Carol Lewis.
The rabbit hole.
Yeah. To his son. Then he was I think he gave a book to Dolores. Or that might have been Arnold, though. I think it was Arnold that gave the book to Dolores. But then you see her being Alice going down her little rabbit hole in the church, in the confessional. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, and I noticed that, with Gotham, there's like Alice in Wonderland references everywhere.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of cool, too, because, Alice has a blue dress on. And whenever Dolores went down in there, she was in her blue dress.
Yeah, and when she met her bicameral mind, the voice that she'd always heard, she was wearing the blue dress.
Alice.
Well, and that was also, her look was also based on some painting or something too. But yeah, Alice, totally. You could see that in here. But does that bother you at all that we keep seeing that theme over and over?
No,
the movies being remade over and over. It's like
that's it. It's everything. There's no originality. Mm-hmm. The script might change, but there's always that underlying factor of an old movie or an old book or something. Just like the new James Franco and Bryan Cranston movie. Why him? That movie has been done 30 billion times.
Son-in-Law.
Yeah. That's the one with Bernie Mac, right? And
no, Son-in-Law. Well, that one too.
Yeah.
Son-in-Law was
Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore. Yeah.
So every single movie has been done before. Just like when people are talking about like these Marvel movies and DC movies. Well, you know what? This storyline is just like Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So it's just like,
Well, because, Alice in Wonderland, The Matrix. You see what I'm saying? You can
follow the bunny,
Yeah, definitely. Self-discovery almost, or inward discovery, which is a lot about what this show was about. Mm-hmm. But it seems to be a common sci-fi and other kind of theme.
Yeah.
But I get it because, it's a philosophical theme of questioning what our consciousness is. Where does it come from? What makes me human and this robot who might have feelings, who might have suffering, which is what Ford said made them self-aware. That's a lot of the same themes, but you can trace that back all the way to Alice in Wonderland still because it's kind of a theme with anybody who's human. who wants to dig deeper into themselves. Like I said, there was some cool stuff that went on where Maeve, when she told Hector, there's nothing in the safe. There's nothing in the safe, which should have tipped us off that there was nothing in the maze, even though they told him the maze wasn't for him. So
I think they want us to believe that. And plus, what we saw is what the host saw.
Right.
So we don't know if there really wasn't anything in the safe.
That's true, though, because, they might have not seen anything in the safe, but there could have been a picture of Arnold in the safe.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a real good point. I like it. I enjoyed the nothing in the safe aspect, though, because I don't know if you'd call me a nihilist or whatever, but I do think that there's a lot of people in real life, and even Ford says humans are in loops too, and they're chasing after something that there might be nothing in that safe.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like that way of thinking too. Would you go to a Westworld?
Not for $40,000 a day.
And also, the thing that I kind of noticed was because there were people there with kids. What are kids going to do at Westworld? Like, that'd be the worst trip ever if you're a kid.
Right. I was probably about like 13, 14 years old, maybe somewhere around there. I was an adolescent or early teens, but she took me and my aunt to Cancun. What the heck am I going to do at Cancun? But go to the pool, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You can't enjoy the finer things in
with
Cancun.
You, with my mom. There's
maybe if you're kicking it with your aunt, she might be like, you know what, get lost for a little bit. But,
exactly. Yeah. But no, she wasn't like that either. So it was just like, okay, I'm going to the pool, Mom. Well, you got to wait for me.
That's funny. I wouldn't go to Westworld for $40K a day. I don't have that kind of money anyway, so it wouldn't even be a thought to me.
Who does? Like, what? What are you doing that you have $40,000 a day?
Yeah.
I feel you.
Other than that, I thought such a great, every week I looked forward to it. I also suggest if you haven't seen it and you've already listened to all this, you're nuts. But if you have seen it, go back and binge watch it. Watch them back to back to back to back to back to back. How many did I get to? Yeah.
To back.
And I think you'll pick up a lot more stuff too as you go along. So
I think I might do that. We're
going to be back probably next week where we want to talk about all of our DC shows, the crossover stuff. There's some good stuff that happened.
Star Wars Rogue One happens next week.
Yeah, we hope to see that before we actually do our podcast, so we could talk a little bit about that. There's a lot of good stuff to talk about, but everything is ending basically right now until January, February, I think.
Yeah.
We might have some shows that pick up right during this time, but Walking Dead is off. Arrow just finished. Flash.
Yeah. Supergirl and Legends finished last week.
So I have some recommendations if you can stream these or if you can go on Netflix. I just started Mr. Robot, and I might be late. There's 2 seasons. People might already be like, watched it. But if you haven't, start checking out Mr. Robot. I dig it. It's pretty good.
I have a recommendation for Insecure. It's on HBO as well with along with what's that? We just talked about it, Westworld.
Right.
Wow. I have a memory of a goldfish. No, but yeah, Insecure is pretty funny, especially being, African American. Like I related to this, and like I have African American friends that are like these girls,
right?
And it's a good show. It's not like funny, but it's relatable,
right? And
not many shows you can relate to. And if you have friends that are like these girls that are in this show, you'll love it,
right?
You'll love it. Or if you just love like kind of like dry. It's not really dry. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but I like it.
I trust HBO.
Yeah,
a lot of their shows I like, and that brings me to I think what we'll end with, which is my crazy theory. You got Westworld. It's obviously the Old West,
right?
But there are obviously other places,
right? So as we've seen.
So say you want to go to Dragon World. Boom, you're in Game of Thrones. Say you want to go to Vampire World. Boom, you're in True Blood. All of the HBO shows are robot people.
Oh, snap.
In robot worlds. And you could go there if you have a lot of money, more money than we'll ever have.
Yeah.
Unless you listen to our show and donate to us or something.
Yeah. we love donations.
Yeah, but all of them. Deadwood, you could go back and watch Deadwood. Pretend they're all robots.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody on HBO is a robot. True Detective, The Wire. Was The Wire on HBO?
I don't know.
I think it was.
Okay. Is Divorce, that new Hayden Christensen Thompson movie, whatever his name is. Silicon Valley.
Robots. Nerdz II Men. Robots. Yeah. So that's what's up.
Yeah. On that note.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll get out of here.
But before we do go, if you ever want us to answer some of your questions, feel free to shoot them at us on Twitter at Nerdz, the #2 Men, our Facebook page as well. You know, we love interaction with our listeners. And if you want us to talk about something and get our take on it, it might not be a question. You say, hey, you know, I watched this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, it would be a question. What do you think about it?
Yeah, that'd be great. We would love to answer that kind of stuff, talk about it on our shows. Makes our prep a little easier.
Yep.
I have notes and notes, pages of notes on Westworld, but thanks to Angela, I had a lot of questions that we could kind of just go through. So that was awesome.
Thank you, Angela.
Yeah,
really
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you. All right, we have our interview that Cameo did with star of Westworld. He plays Felix. He's Leonardo Nam.
And he's from Australia.
Yeah, so stick around for that.
Hey, Leo, how you doing, brother?
Good. Is it Cameo?
Yes, Cameo. like word up.
I love that.
So how have you been, boss?
I've been good, man. I've been really, really good. You know, surfing the wave of Westworld, which is always good.
Yeah, and okay, I got to ask you. I mean, I've been in the entertainment business too. I was a dancer, and you know, seeing naked bodies left and right, cool, whatever. But that was just like stone cold, just nakedness. Did you feel awkward?
I don't know if the awkward is the right word. I felt very aware.
Okay.
But not awkward. You know, I go to Korean spas all the time, and you're nude in that, and no big deal. But yeah, I mean, of course, it does cross your mind. But once you get to the work, it's like it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
But at the beginning, it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah, because I know if I was in that show, I'd be like, oh, my Lord, I'm sorry. And I mean, and your character, Felix, was like that, too. Whenever Maeve came in and she was just stark naked, and then your coworker in the show was like, it's okay. They're not real.
Yeah. The human body is a fascinating thing. And it just always is. And so, the Ptolemy, the guy that I do the things with along with Sandy, his character definitely just sees them sees them as like, iPhones. Like, it just is what it is, and that's just the outside of it and stuff like that. But I think that Felix has a little bit more of a, not so much, the fascination they look like humans and stuff like that, but the fact that it's suddenly becoming alive, and that, that's the part that he's really relating to. Not necessarily the nakedness.
Gotcha. And I was wondering, did you get to meet the whole cast, or was it just the people that you got to work with, like Tandy Newton and Ptolemy and all them? Was it just the scenes that you were limited to, or?
Yeah. We did meet. We met a couple of the other actors. A lot of the times we met them, like, at a party, or we happened to have like our scenes were kind of on the same day. That's the only time that we kind of met other people that weren't in the scene that we were in together. But I got a chance to meet like Jeffrey and Ingrid and Rodrigo and what have you, because I filmed stuff with them in the finale and stuff. But earlier, while filming the earlier in the season, we just kind of saw each other at like more like parties, I guess.
Oh, well, that's cool. It wasn't
like, let's all hang out, but we all happen to be at these parties,
Awesome. So, I mean, this is kind of big in pop culture now, because, I mean, Westworld's been around for a while. Were you aware of the other movies and shows before you came on to the 2016 series on HBO?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was a big fan of the movie. That movie just totally creeped me out. And it was kind of super fascinating. But I remember when I watched the movie, once I knew that the show was happening, I thought, oh, duh, this is like a great show. This would be an amazing show. Started to recognize that not only is it about robots, but then that it's different. It could be different themes and different kind of worlds that the audience could be immersed in. I definitely was aware of of the movie before the show.
Will you be a part of any of like Comic Cons that'll be coming up next year, or is Westworld going to be a part of any of that?
I'm not sure if Westworld will be a part of that. Something that let's speak to HBO and the Westworld crew about. Mm-hmm. But I would think, well, I'm actually not going to even. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I just show up where I'm needed.
My agent says I need to be here. I guess I will be here today then.
Exactly.
Well, that's pretty cool, man. Like I have to ask you about the scene wherever you find Bernard laying on the ground.
Yeah.
You figure out that he's a host, and whenever you like started doing the like robot, not dance, but like when you do the robot motion, you cracked me up. Was that? I just want to know, was that all improv or was that part of the script?
There was a moment where in the script it did say that I looked at my hand. Mm-hmm. I looked down, and so I had done a couple different takes. And so I remember when I did that particular take, Jonah Nolan came up and he was cracking up. Mm-hmm. He was cracking up, and it's such a serious scene, and we'd done it, a couple different times, and it's a big scene because there are several different actors, and you've got to kind of shoot it all the way around.
Right.
So it takes a while. So by the time it got to my stuff, we'd done it a couple times, and so it was quite funny when I did that take. That's when he was like just bursting out laughing. Because I did another one where I kind of went more to my heart, and I went more to did other things. Mm-hmm. But that's the take that I was like, that's going to be in the show.
And I'm glad it was, because that was really a nice comedic relief in the show. Because everything was so serious, and then you get to that part, and you just like start doing like, oh, am I one of these? Like, what's going on here? I loved it a lot. And I'm pretty sure, because me and one of my other buddies, we watched the show religiously. And as soon as that scene, actually after the whole episode, when that scene happened, we called each other after the episode like, oh my goodness, check this part out. I was like, I already know. I was cracking up at it too.
I'm so glad.
Yeah,
that's wonderful to hear.
And I got to say, like, you were like one of my favorite actors besides Tandy Newton and Anthony Hopkins' characters. You were one of my favorites, and I have to say, you and the whole cast of Westworld deserve that Screen Actors Guild Award nomination, and hopefully win it too.
Thank you.
Y'all did a phenomenal job on the show. I'm fanboying out right now.
Oh, mate, I really appreciate you saying that. There would be days, growing up in Australia, mm-hmm. thinking, I'm going to be an actor, what have you, and then finally being on that set and seeing that call list and being like, oh, bam, it's like Anthony Hopkins, bam, Ed Harris, bam, Tandy Newton, bam. I was like, oh my goodness. It was a dream come true. So thank you so much for saying that. I really, really appreciate that. We all worked really, really hard. Mm-hmm. Blood, sweat, and tears went into that. Into season 1, which I'm sure will go into season 2. Yeah. But thank you. And the Screen Actors Guild Award was like a cherry on top. It's such a wonderful and brilliant surprise, especially to be supported by our fellow colleagues, other actors and stuff. So thank you.
No problem, man. I'm giving credit to where it's due. It's a really awesome show. And I was also wondering, did you get to keep anything from the show? Did you sneak something into your pocket, like one of the what was that thing called? The thing that you did all the upgrades to Tandy's character.
Oh right, yeah, that tablet.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Okay.
I didn't keep any of that stuff.
Yeah. You ain't got to lie to me, brother. That thing was pretty cool looking. I know it's all like CGI, but that thing looked pretty cool, though.
It looks pretty cool, yeah. I have friends of mine in Australia that are total tech geeks as well, and they were like, Leo, what is that? I was like, you know that it's fake, guys.
Yeah. So whenever you had to do those upgrades and, act like you were doing something on it, how was it that y'all went about it? Did they tell you, like, hey, this is your finger motions, they have to be like this on this part and yada, yada, yada?
Yeah, there was a CGI tech consultant, mm-hmm. Joe Waymire, who was absolutely brilliant. And so because it was just 3 panels, I had spoken to him about like, well, what kind of movements would I be doing? And so he kind of broke down what he was going to be doing. And I thought, well, can I be doing like a circular motion in this? Can I be doing this? What part's fast, what part's slow? So we kind of talked about it, definitely beforehand. But in that moment, a lot of the stuff was kind of, as the upgrades were happening, I had to, infuse what I thought was happening by seeing what Candy was doing.
Okay.
And so really it was more like a bounce back and forth between her and I that I kind of then interpreted onto that tablet.
Oh, okay. Sweet. And I know some people that are in shows, they don't get to watch the season while filming because I'm not sure how the filming process went for you guys. But did you get to watch the episodes when they aired, or were y'all still filming the episodes one after the other?
Oh, right. Yeah, we this was kind of more like a film. And so everything was shot and put in the can first and foremost before it even was released. So I watched the show along with the audience.
Oh, sweet.
Because, Jonah and Lisa, the creators of the Kilter Films, along with J.J. Abrams at Bad Robot, they were super, lockdown secretive about it all. And we watched they did bring me in to watch the first 2 episodes, but then the rest after that, kind of, I was on the journey with the audience.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was super exciting. We're like, what's going on? What happened?
So did you figure out that William, and sorry, spoiler alert, whoever's listening, but the man in black in William's character, did you figure out that they were going to be the same people?
No, I had no clue about that. Only kind of a little later into the season did I get inklings. But, to be very fair, it wasn't my idea. Like, I'd heard it from people. And I was like, what? But I remember very clearly when I saw in episode 2 when William comes in and then they had, of course, the white hat and the black hat. They made kind of like a big deal about that. Then it all started to make sense. When someone mentioned that to me, I thought, oh, yes. So then, yeah.
Which brings me to my next question. If you were in Westworld and you were a guest, would you choose the white or black hat?
Oh, man, mate, you got to go black hat first.
Right? You got to be
get
evil.
All that out there.
Yeah, you got to be evil first, and then you can be nice.
You got to go there.
Well, do you have a favorite sci-fi or Western movie that that you liked watching growing up or even now?
Well, I really liked, there was a sci-fi movie called Daryl, and it was basically about a little kid who had a kind of like a chip implanted into him, and I really, 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 really enjoyed that movie. Who was in it? I can't even remember. But I remember even being a little kid, and then every time I would be, stay home from school or what have you, I would always pop that into the video machine.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's one favorite. And then, of course, there's like E.T. I used to watch that all the time. So yeah, those are kind of my favorites, kind of growing up. So.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Because I'm a big sci-fi fan. I love like all the superhero stuff that's going on right now in the theaters, and I liked Bicentennial Man. I like Star Kid, all that stuff. And yeah, I was just wondering because I didn't know if you had one, and then like maybe you might have related to a character in one of those shows, and maybe try to transfer it over to this show since it is a big sci-fi and Western show.
Yeah. No, I wasn't able to. I kind of try to make it as new and as fresh as I could make it for me. That's kind of really what I did, because I wasn't privy to a lot of the sci-fi or the technology stuff that was happening in the show. I would always ask them, what year is this and what's the outside world like? and we weren't allowed to know that stuff. So I kind of had to make it as fresh and as real to my situation as possible. Maybe next season I'll do a little more sci-fi kind of, research.
Sweet. I mean, you don't got to. I mean, the way you played your character, it was dope, man. It was dope.
Thank you.
But since we're talking about season 2, does that mean you're going to be in season 2?
We'll see.
Oh, you said okay. I see what you did there.
Hey, everyone's going to have to watch.
Right. Well, I know I'm going to watch. And I have to ask you this one final question. So the coordinates that you gave Tandy's character for her daughter, were those coordinates for a spot in a different world? Like what we saw in the final season Samurai World? Is she in there, or is she... What other kind of worlds could we expect?
You got to watch.
Oh, that silence got me.
All you know is that your mind's going to be blown.
Sweet, man. I cannot wait, and I'm kind of sad that it's not coming back until 2018.
Yeah. So am I. But, we're all... I know that they're definitely... I mean, you've seen what season 1 was like. Let's just see what other madness and beautiful madness is going to come out in season 2.
Oh, I can't wait, man. I cannot wait. And that was kind of a lie. That wasn't the last question. I want to know, you have any other projects that you're working on in between?
I am working on a virtual reality project. Mm-hmm. I'm super interested in creating content and virtual reality. So I'm working on a capsule, like a 3-part series in virtual reality.
Oh, cool.
So look out for that.
I know you have social media. Would you like to give that out to people?
Yeah. So I'm on Insta. It's Leonardo _Nam. And then on Facebook, reach out to me, Leonardo Nam. And the same handle as Instagram on Twitter, Leonardo _Nam.
Sweet, Leo. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you. Thanks, Cameo.
Hey, Leo, anytime you want to come to the Nerdz II Men podcast, you just hit us up.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
All right, brother. Well, you have a good one.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Later.
Next time, Gadget. Next time.